Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about some of the new capabilities that have just come to Google Meet that we think you're going to want to try out and test and make a regular part of your live sessions. So the first thing that we want to do is mention the brand new breakout rooms that have come to Google Meet, because we know this is the most eagerly anticipated feature that's been on the horizon for a little while. So how do we use this? Well, the first thing you want to do in your live Meet session is you want to look down here in the bottom left-hand corner and make sure that you have this blue shield. This is what we talked about in our last update video. If you haven't checked that out, do check that out. But this is where host controls are. So it's important to make sure that you have the host controls. How do you get these? You got to be the first one into the Meet session. So if you're a classroom teacher, it's really easy. If you kick this thing off and launch your Meet session, then you're going to have the shield and you'll have all of the control over breakout rooms and stuff like that. If, though, you have a co-teacher or you work with a para or something like that, if they come to the session before you, they'll have all these host controls. So you want to work that out ahead of time so that you're always the first to enter and then you get the host controls. All right, here's where you're going to go. Upper right-hand corner, you'll notice there's a new button up here. It's got a triangle, a square, and a circle icon. This is the new activities menu for Google Meet. Once you click that button, you will notice this is where you can launch breakout rooms, polls, and a brand new Google Meet exclusive feature, Q&A. That's something that is not available in the other video conferencing platforms right now. So let's talk briefly about each one of these. If you want to use some breakout rooms with your students, you're going to click this breakout room link right over there. And then this is the portion where you can configure everything. So what you can do is you can determine how many rooms you want to have, 2, 3, 4, however many you want. I think it goes up to 50 possible rooms. So determine how many rooms. And then if you want, you can click the shuffle button and all of your students will get assigned randomly into your different rooms. Or you can click clear. That'll bring everybody back to the main room. And then if you want to manually assign, you can click and drag your students into each one of those rooms that you'd like them to be into. Also, you have the ability to click here and modify the names of any one of your breakout rooms. When you're ready to launch this, what you're going to do is click Open Rooms, and that will open up all of your breakout rooms. You'll notice right up here at the top that breakout rooms are now in session. Now, all of these students have a little spinning circle. That means that they've got the little tile up on their screen that says, you've been invited to breakout room number 2. Do you want to cancel or do you want to join? Once they click join, they'll hop into that breakout room. You don't have the ability to kind of push them into that room. You just have the ability to have that invitation pop up here. And so they'll all remain here with you in the main room until they accept and go into that session. Once they start to accept, you'll see they stop spinning and they turn into this instead. Now, you as the teacher, what can you do? You can stay here in the main room. You can go join these breakout rooms as well and check out what your students are doing in each one of those rooms so you can kind of monitor and make sure everybody's on task. You also have the ability to go up here and edit your rooms at any time if you need to change the names. You can also reconfigure who's in what room. So if you want to move this student over here because it's not working out in the first breakout room, click Save, and that student will now get another notice that says, hey, you've been invited to move over to breakout room 2, and they can accept that and then hop in there. From here, you also have the ability to close your rooms. And once you close your rooms, then students will get a message that says, hey, your breakout room has ended. Click here to go back to the main room, and then they will all be over here in the main room with you once they click that. You'll notice I have 2 students here, still waiting for one student to come back to their computer and then jump back over here into this room. So that's breakout rooms. We recommend that you use it, give it a shot. This is an amazing tool for distance learning because it allows us to do small group work that I know so many of us have been wanting to do and is a normal part of our classroom instruction. All right, let's talk about these other 2 things. We now have the ability to launch polls as well. You'll see I've already done a poll already in here, so this poll has been concluded. If I want to create another poll, all I have to do is create a poll. So you can click this button, ask a question, ask a couple of, or put a couple of answer choices in there, and then you can launch that for your students. Now, these polls, they do not persist from session to session. Think about them as just a poll right now for this one live session. So once this session is over, these polls will go away. You will get a little record of everything that was said in the poll and how people voted. That'll go into your Google Drive automatically, so that's nice. But if you want to use polls every day and you find you want to use the same poll over and over and over again, we recommend typing up those questions and answer options into a Google Doc or maybe into Google Keep so that you can copy and paste and plug those things in here really quickly. So polls is an awesome feature. The last one that we want to mention is this Q&A feature, which is really valuable for us as teachers. Once you turn on Q&A, you'll go over here and you'll just click Enable. That then allows students to go over to their activity menu button. Basically, they'll go over here to this button. They'll go down to Q&A, and then they can use this button to ask you a question during your session so that they're not interrupting your direct instruction. So if you want to open this up, it allows students to kind of ask sidebar questions. And then once you see the questions come in here, you can answer those as they come up whenever you get to a natural break in your direct instruction. Students also have the ability to upvote these and kind of make them more popular. And then you have the ability to mark them as done and hide them as view after you've answered each one of those questions. So one of the things we know about distance learning is from a student's perspective, it can be a little rough to sit online in front of your webcam all day and just have a teacher, talk to you and give you information. It's a very passive experience. So one of the best things we can do as teachers is to make our sessions more interactive, find a way to get students involved in here. Give them a chance to unmute, turn on their microphone, and participate in a breakout room to share their ideas, or work in some regular polling, some regular questions, not only academic questions, but also just how's the pacing working for everybody? Does anybody have any questions on this topic? How's your engagement right now? Do we need a break? Do we need to do something else? How am I doing as your distance learning teacher? Sometimes those answers can be a little rough to hear, but man, that can make us so much more effective if we constantly take the kind of the pulse of our students. And finally, Q&A, another great way to have students feel like they've got a way to participate and be active in your sessions. The other two things we want to mention is one is Google Meet now does attendance reporting. You've probably already noticed this. You get an email in your inbox after your Meet sessions now. It's got a spreadsheet attached to it. All you have to do is open up that spreadsheet and you will see now a log of everybody that came, what time they attended, when they left. I think the duration is also in there. So that's a really nice piece. We don't need any more Chrome extensions to take attendance, and we don't have to manually do that where we're wasting valuable time calling out students' names. So that's a really nice piece. The last thing we want to mention is you probably have noticed that Google Meet has a closed caption feature. And if you turn it on, then Google will use their machine learning to basically create a transcript of everything that I'm saying, and it'll show you as a closed caption live in your session. A couple teachers have said, hey, is there any way to record this transcript? Maybe the lesson was great and you want to have a copy of everything that was said. Or maybe you have that unfortunate scenario where you're presenting and sharing your screen and a student unmutes and says something inappropriate, but you didn't catch who it was. You couldn't quite, make out whose voice it was. And so you have no way to go back and trace that back. Well, if you go get now this Google Chrome extension called Meet Transcript, it's available in the Chrome Web Store. And again, Meet Transcript with this icon is the one you're looking for. If you install it, I think you're going to like this. Once you set this thing up, it will now in Google Docs, it will do a transcript of everything that was said from that closed captioning, including who said what. So you can go back in your session and figure out who said what and get all that key information in case you need to follow up with something, or just in case you want to take some of the learning and the way you explain something and share it with a student that wasn't here today. So check that out. Once you get it all configured, it's a really handy way to be able to do those things. All right, I hope these answers have helped and this little guide has helped. We hope that you will get in and try these things out and check out all these new features and make them a regular part of your live sessions and all of your synchronous instruction. Thanks, everybody.